Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are doing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-round mock draft. We did a mock draft for all 32 teams, and these will be the Buccaneers selections. But before we do that, we have a fun announcement as well. If you like betting on sports games that you're watching, whether it be the football season or watching golf or even horse racing as well, click the link down below. We have partnered with BetUS to give our viewers kind of more fun experience while watching sports and want to do a little bit of gambling on the side as well. They have a promotion going on right now for all first-time joiners of the site. It's 125% match starting at for their first 3 deposits as well. So be sure to hit the link below, sign up, and also while you're at it, like and subscribe to our channel to get notified whenever new videos come out. With that being said, Ryan, let's pull up the Buccaneers draft so far. So we wanted to start off with the offseason, just kind of do a little bit of recap of what they've done up to this point of the season. They've done a lot on the additions and re-signing side, a lot of good ones as well. Re-signed Baker Mayfield. He got a nice contract. Congratulations to him. Mike Evans as well. Congratulations to him. Future Hall of Fame career for Mike Evans for sure. And so franchise tag Antoine Winfield, which was the right decision. Even added Jordan Whitehead as well, and made a couple other great moves and additions, I feel, as well to this team overall, especially on the offensive line side of the ball, which I think was probably one of their weaknesses overall. They could still improve in, I would say, nearly every single category, especially too if you go look at their PFF needs. And so, but in general, though, I think they've made the right moves. At minimum, set a solid floor. They're going to be a tough team to beat, especially too. They just have the momentum overall going into the 2024 season. So they haven't really lost too much in general, I would say. And so they trade off Carlton Davis to the Detroit Lions. They cut Ryan Jensen. That was kind of expected. And then Devin White, the linebacker, has signed with Philly. There have been other moves and additions that we just don't include here. We just feel like those were the most notable ones, so to say. But Ryan, which of these do you think kind of sticks out the most as like the best move for Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, bringing back Baker and Mike Evans for this offense is really good, and Antoine Winfield Jr. is just a phenomenal safety for them. I really like him, and I think he's going to set a foundation in this secondary for the future that they're going to build on for the next 4 or 5 years. So I think that's critical. They brought back all the key pieces, and I don't want to say trimmed the fat, because that might be a little mean for Carlton Davis, Ryan Jensen, and Devin White. But those guys getting older, injuries had started to play a part in some of them, and just overall play level wasn't quite as high. So they also got something back for Carlton Davis as well. It's not just like he left a free agency. So honestly, let's just go ahead and get right into the picks. And starting off at 26, Nate Wiggins, I think, is a fantastic pick here. Super athletic guy, probably the most athletic corner in this class. Technically, maybe not the strongest, but just he has all the athleticism and the traits that you want. Being 6'1", 190, he ran a 4.29 at the combine. He did pull his groin while doing that, but again, just that high end athleticism that you want in a corner. He baits quarterbacks really, really well. He has the speed to regain ground. I really like what he brings to the table. I think you have Antoine Winfield in the backfield. You go get an aggressive corner like Nate Wiggins, where he could really man up against guys here at in the second half of the first round. That's just a fantastic pick, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. No, if he falls to them at 26, I think, too, kind of looking at it as well with the moves that they've made so far, is that one area that they could improve on or do more in, because, I mean, they did get Bryce Hall from the New York Jets. And so any secondary from the New York Jets is, I think, a great addition. But I think that could be an area where they could still just keep on improving. They lost Carlton Davis, as we mentioned already. And so I just keep bolstering up, especially then, too, as well. You have receivers in the division like Drake London and then Chris Olave, and then now potentially too, who knows what the Panthers are going to be doing. Still going to have a lot of good young studs that could still come in for any of those teams. So having a strong secondary as well, especially then too, they're slowly getting a little bit better on the defensive line side of the ball as well. I can see them going there. Latu, I think it was another potential one that we really talked about, who fell all the way down to 31, going to San Francisco. That could be a piece as well. You just go get him. I think he's the most day one ready prospect of any of the edge rushers so far, just because of his age and overall just technical expertise, so to say. Just a little bit of his age, so the injury history is the reason why he fell a little bit. I think they could absolutely go and get him there. And so sitting here at 26, a lot of different routes that they could end up going. So let's move on, though, now to their second round pick, picking at 57 here. We do have them addressing the edge rusher position, Darius Robinson from Missouri. Great athlete, great late second round addition here as well, especially too when you're kind of looking at it. We've talked about this from 50 overall prospects, from 50 to about 100. There is a big drop off in overall edge rusher capabilities and just defensive line, and not defensive line, edge rusher specifically. So I think getting this guy here, especially too, they have a couple picks coming up in the third round as well that are close to one another. There's not going to be too many edge rusher positions that are going to be available there, unless they want to reach up for a guy, which we might get to here in a second. So, but I think going with Darius Robinson here is he's slowly been rising up over this offseason so far.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him from Missouri, he didn't have the greatest tape, but part of that was I think that they were trying to play him out of position, either at a true defensive tackle role or a true edge rusher role. Whereas I feel like if he is kind of that tweener, so if you play him at that 3-4 in spot, which I think Tampa Bay will do, that's where I think he would really thrive. And he did really well at the Senior Bowl, kind of playing and lining up in some of the drills in that spot. So I really like him as a player. He has the physicality, the strength that you want in somebody to kind of play that role, but he also isn't going to hurt you in terms of athleticism. So I really like the fit here. And he reminds me a little bit of Keon White. He's not quite as refined as Keon White was last year, but again, just a very similar player in my eyes. So let's move on. They have 2 third-round picks that are really, really close together. So Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver, and then Austin Booker, the edge rusher from Kansas. Jalen McMillan kind of played third fiddle to Jalen Polk and Rome Odunze at Washington. But I think you look at his skill set, and he is a little bit shiftier. He is more of that nuanced route runner than I think those guys are, who were more of Rome Odunze could do it all. But Jalen Polk was more specifically a deep threat, contested catch guy. That would try to get open deep down the field, where Jalen McMillan, he ran everything from screen passes to like go balls and everything in between. So I like that fit here. You get a young wide receiver in Tampa. And then Austin Booker, going to be that outside linebacker type. I think if you're going to draft a guy like Darius Robinson, getting an Austin Booker who has the speed and athleticism off the edge is going to be really important to that scheme as well.
Yeah, he's more of that, as you're mentioning, he's more of that modern day edge rusher where like Darius Robinson, as you mentioned, like maybe he could even kick inside and be a defensive tackle just because of how big he is. But Austin Booker, you maybe even have him be a linebacker as well, just with how quick he is. And so he's probably maybe a little bit of a reach moving forward, but I think we're trying to find just good athletic guys here because it is kind of a luxury pick since you have these 2 picks right back to back. And so I think, though, and that's where I feel like it's technically a double up at edge rusher, but it's not. And so if they were going to go a different route here, I could see them going with the offensive line at Zach Center that we have there's taking a couple picks later. I think that he would be a great fit and overall development as well. Kind of need to have him heal a little bit with his legs still, but just give Baker Mayfield as much protection as possible. So Tampa Bay, I think with all their picks, I think they're just an absolute best player available overall. Don't have too many. Well, I need to be careful because I know people are going to roast me on that. It's like they have great players. Like Mike Evans is an absolute great player. They have a lot of really good players overall. And so like maybe they could find marginal improvements overall. Mm-hmm. But in general, this team is pretty set overall. I think they're just going to be just trying to find just the best players available. Like how can we make this position more competitive?
To me, this team is really well-rounded. And they have Hall of Fame players, I think, on their roster for sure. Like Mike Evans leading the way. It's just they have the cornerback spot that is to me is a little bit of a glaring need. Luckily, this is a deep cornerback class, and the more and more mock drafts that come out, the more and more those cornerbacks look like they're coming off starting at Jacksonville on, and so like they're guaranteed to at least be able to snag one of those guys. Yeah. So I like this draft class for them. They got 4 guys in the top 100 that can come in and compete for significant roles right away. They still have all of their day 3 picks as well. So it's going to be interesting watching and seeing kind of what they're able to come out of this draft with. They have some pieces to move around. So if they really love one of those corners, maybe they move up from 26 and give up one of those second, third rounders. But we'll just have to see. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? While you're down there, click that BetUS link and help support the channel and maybe win some money on some online gambling. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.